I like fucked up and couldn't find something I was trying to show, so I finally found it. So the chaos of my cluttered wall here. So anyway, I basically showed all these things in my last video that I just made, but I missed where is it? Missed something right around here. I don't know. So, wait, where the heck is it? Oh god, sorry. It's this thing, not this. Or just a second. Settle yourselves, get your pop. I'll try to find this stupid thing that I couldn't find and then found and then fucking already lost again. Here. I definitely. Up here. Yep. Yep. Now how this fucking shit disappeared. It's very frustrating trying to like save like human civilization with like shitty technology and shitty websites. All right, well, I'm gonna go back and try to find this shit, but I guess I'll just go to, more recent photos. So I'll go to here, but I'm looking original after that. If it takes a minute. There's philosophy, something Sukhavati. Jigoku Soku Sukhavati. So it basically means Jigoku is the Pure Land. But they say the original phrase is Jigoku Soku Jaku, which means basically the same thing. Buddhist philosophy. Buddhist philosophy, this expression translates to hell is the land of tranquil light, using Jigoku for hell and Jaku for the highest Buddha land. It signifies that a place of and a state of absolute enlightenment are fundamentally the same in nature. The concept is especially central to Nichiren Buddhism. Breaking down the concepts. Jigoku means hell or a state of existence characterized by extreme torment, suffering, and anger. So America, the underworld. But, it also symbolizes other shit. Soku, the oneness or immanence of two seemingly opposite things. It means they are not separate, but different manifestations of the same reality. Jako, short for Jakodo light, the pure eternal Buddha land of absolute peace and enlightenment. Core meaning. This phrase means that no matter how deep your current suffering is, that exact state of being can be transformed into enlightenment instead of escaping a hellish reality to reach a separate pure land like Sukhavati, the Western paradise. The concept teaches that there is no separate paradise. Through faith and practice, you can awaken the Buddha nature within your current imperfect and sometimes painful life. So, but they're assuming that none of these are real places, which is ignorant and wrong. Well, you asked about Jigoku Soku Sukhavati. The original phrase actually pairs Jigoku, hell, with Jako, tranquil light, as seen in the writing. Jigoku Soku Jako Gosho. The hell is the land of tranquil light. The hell. All right, so Jigoku Soku Jako Gosho. Jigoku Soku Jako Gosho. If you are exploring, blah, blah, blah. Okay, Zen, Tendai, Nichiren traditions, which sought to correct the literal physical view of the afterlife popularized by early Pure Land movements. The major Buddhist authorities and traditions behind this teaching include Nichiren Daishonin. The most direct, explicit textual authority for this exact sentiment comes from Nichiren, the founder of Nichiren Buddhism. He frequently argued that the Pure Land of the Eagle Peak, or the land of tranquil light, exists inside the practitioner's devotion, not in a faraway Western paradise. But the Eagle Peak is, I think, in India, or like in the Himalayas or something. So it's not the Western Pure Land. People have conflated that with Sukhavati, the Western Pure Land, because the Eagle Peak is west from Japan. But Sukhavati was called the Western Pure Land by people in India. So obviously it's not India, right? India is not west of India. So that's just nonsense. I mean, you could say that is a Pure Land, but it's not Sukhavati. Yada yada. In his famous letter titled Hell is the Land of Tranquil Light, he explicitly writes, neither the Pure Land nor hell exists outside oneself. Both lie only within one's own heart. One who embraces the Lotus Sutra will realize that hell is itself the land of tranquil light. So, I mean, you could say it doesn't exist outside oneself, but that's not to say it doesn't exist outside one's psychology, only that oneself can be said to encompass the universe. So in that sense, nothing is outside oneself, but it's certainly a place. Under this Tendai framework, Japanese monks routinely use the formula X soku Y to show that two apparent opposites are structurally identical. This directly birthed the formula Jigoku Soku Sukhavati, hell is paradise, alongside Bono Soku Bodai, earthly desires are enlightenment. So yeah, there's a lot of Buddhism is just a trick. Like I could tell that just by my first acquaintance with Buddhism as a kid, that obviously it's full of mind games that are not literally or naively. Radical Pure Land mystics, the Myokonin. While mainstream Pure Land authorities like Honen and Shinran focused on literal rebirth in Sukhavati after death, later unlettered saints of the Shin tradition known as Myokonin spoke of Jigoku Soku Sukhavati from deep experiential faith. It's funny, like they'll just say stuff, but then like they're saying this, but then they're also saying that nobody ever said that, and they actually said Jigoku Soku Jako Gosho. So AI just lies. It's all, but it's not all lies. You can tell. You can often tell lies from the truth. Um, Mystics like Goromatsu Mekawa and Asahara Saichi frequently wrote that because Amida Buddha's compassion reaches all the way down into the depths of human depravity, the moment a person accepts their flawed, hellbound nature, they find themselves already enveloped by the Pure Land. As Saichi wrote in his poems, "My home is the Pure Land, but it is right here in this world of suffering." Okay. All right, now I'm going to find this freaking other thing. I don't give a shit. I'm going to find it somehow. It's like a screenshot I wanted to read, but then I freaking lost it in my million ass photos. Yeah, still can't find this. Like I definitely found it a minute ago. It's gone. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm just gonna go through every freaking photo until I find this thing. If you wanna check out these photos, just pause and check it out, I guess. But I just want to get this goddamn thing out of the way so I can say it's on YouTube and then move on. This article just showing how this system of like knowledge by association is just how all knowledge works. Like that's how thinking works. Like people think this is weird. No, this is how your brain works, if it works at all. You see shapes and patterns, and that's how your brain like functions. Right, I definitely am not seeing it, but I definitely saw it before, unless I just saw it in my other photos. So frustrating. All right, I guess I'll try to find it in here then. Take a straight. Hmm. Oh, well, here you can actually see this shrine. I think before I just read the text about it. Just shows how all the shrines are really just for topography, geography, landmarks. Hodo-san Shrine, a power spot. It's on Hodo, Mount Hodo. So it's really the mountain is the shrine. Like they explain it the way that I guess we think it is, which is that the shrine is this little building at the base of the fucking mountain. But if you actually read anything from the, traditional people that originally, did this, built these shrines, built these, gateways, the mountain is the shrine. The mountain is the shrine. The thing they build is just the gateway to the mountain. So yeah. And the shrine is just to honor the mountain and study it. So yeah, maybe this was another thing that I was meant to post on Facebook, but somehow didn't. I guess I don't know. Well, anyways, this just shows how Snow White is from the Greek story. The goddess Eris, the goddess of discord, tossed the famous golden apple inscribed to the fairest. She crashed a divine wedding because she was not invited. Her magical golden apple caused a fight among Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite. This dispute led to the Trojan War and also to the creation of Rome. The judgment of Paris is a story from the Greek mythology, which was one of the events that led up to the Trojan War and in later versions to the foundation of Rome. Eris, the goddess of discord, was not invited to the wedding of Peleus and Thetis. In revenge, she brought a golden apple. So the golden apple is probably like the sun or one of the planets or one of the stars, inscribed to the fairest one, which she threw into the wedding. 3 guests, Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite, after some disputation, agreed to have Paris of Troy choose the fairest one. Paris chose Aphrodite, she having bribed him with the most beautiful mortal woman in the world, Helen of Sparta, wife of Menelaus. Consequently, Paris carried Helen off to Troy, and the Greeks invaded Troy for Helen's return. So Helen is probably just Greece, because that's the name of Greece, Helene. And the Greeks invaded Troy for Helen's return. Iris's apple of discord, or her not being invited to the wedding in the first place, was thus the instrumental casus belli of the Trojan War. So, and Helen might be Greece personified, like with the female shape, that kind of thing. See, there are literally thousands of stories that feature Baba Yaga. There are plenty of stories where Baba is a sole protagonist for the hero to outsmart. A prime example is the Russian version. Sorry, I'm getting some weird pop-ups. Russian version of Cinderella, the Baba Yaga. So they explicitly acknowledge that it's Cinderella. It's the Russian Cinderella. It might be the original Cinderella. So Baba Yaga is probably Iceland's, but also has iterations elsewhere, avatars elsewhere. So in this fairy tale, a jealous stepmother sends her beautiful stepdaughter to the Baba Yaga, hoping to eliminate the child without her father's knowledge. Thankfully, the girl is smart enough to visit her kind aunt first. This fairy godmother figure gives her all the advice and gifts she needs to visit Baba Yaga unscathed. Baba asks the girl to weave at a loom while the witch makes plans to cook her up, but Cinderella gives food and presents to Baba's servant, her animals, and the sentient hut doors and trees of the forest. All of them help her escape safely despite Baba Yaga pursuing Cinderella in the magical mortar. Snow White writes, Baba Yaga, Russia's most feared. The message of this tale is pretty obvious. If you're good and kind to everyone and happen to have an aunt who knows about Baba Yaga, you'll end up just fine. This moral is reinforced by Baba Yaga's cruel treatment of her underlings who are not loyal to their harsh and selfish mistress. Here, at least, Baba is a one-dimensional villain only interested in her supper. In other versions, Baba Yaga is there to test the hero. Instead of hunting down people to torment, Baba Yaga is far more likely to be a chill stay-at-home kind of witch who will test the valor of anyone brave enough to visit her. Baba Yaga usually won't bother you unless you bother her. A notable exception is the story about a boy named Hrikshka, who Baba Yaga kidnaps from his own garden. But in every other story I've found, the protagonist must seek out Baba Yaga. It's quite standard for protagonists to escape Baba Yaga unscathed, but she's just as likely to let Baba Yaga's role in coming-of-age stories brings up another fascinating aspect of this character. While there's so much about her that's unnatural and unsettling, she's also a common symbol of nature itself. Many scholars see her as a mother nature stand-in who has control over the elements. We see this in Vasilisa the Beautiful, when the heroine encounters three mystical riders in the woods, a white rider, a red rider, and a black rider. Later in the story, Baba explains that these riders are the bright day, the red sun, and the dark midnight. In other versions, the three riders symbolize sunrise, sunset, and the night. But the point is that Baba Yaga describes these magical riders as her servants who she commands, a witch who can control the sun itself. Wow. So if she's Iceland, she's kind of between hemispheres, between time zones. So that makes a lot of sense. This is just one example of Baba Yaga as a godlike figure, a deity of natural phenomena. Like nature itself, Baba is both powerful and cruel. Baba Yaga is part of the process of children growing up, but she's also the deciding factor if adulthood never arrives. If she decides to eat someone, they'll never cross that threshold. Baba is associated with death and the capriciousness of whether children survive the harsh realities of sickness, hunger, and danger. At her heart, Baba Yaga is brutally unpredictable, although she is known to keep her word in most stories. Of course, it's rather ironic that a figure like Baba Yaga would represent the natural world when so much about her is wildly unnatural. An old, ugly hag living alone in the woods, a woman with iron teeth, cannibalistic appetite, and an enchanted house on legs. Could there be anything more unnatural than this? The inconsistencies of Baba Yaga are just part of her lore. Baba is notoriously difficult to categorize because her fairy tales are so blasted contradictory. Got British, probably. In some tales, she's a deity who controls the elements. In other stories, nature turns against her as rivers and forests bring about her untimely death. Some stories depict her as inevitable and all-knowing. Okay, so normal type of a god. Spend some time this Saturday exploring Wati Putunguru, the man from the bush, an incredible solo show. Sacred site, a highly sacred site in the heart of traditional Spinifex country located in the Great Victoria. So he's painting the lands on the lands. It's Inception. Paintception. Okay. Jenny Butt has included her artwork, Kulia Kartu, in this year's Cossack Art Award. It's opening tonight. Jenny's artistic journey has been shaped by her elders. I learned from my grandmother and grandfathers by going out on country, sharing stories, and learning from them about the bush plants and bush food. I painted before, but going to Parngur and being around old people really opened my mind, seeing them painting and what colors they used. My daughter started painting with the old people too, and she watches me paint their stories now. I'd like to be an inspiration to her and young people. So yeah, there she's painting some topography. Let's see, all right, now. Oh yeah, Homer turning men into pigs in the Circe Island. Here, wait, let me find this thing. It should be right around here. It's like I talked to the stupid AI, something real, posted it on Facebook. I took a screenshot from Facebook, and it should be in here fucking somewhere, but for the life of me, I cannot find it again. So. I think I found it. Alhamdulillah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I said to the Google, if Shinran, so Shinran was the founder of Jodo Shinshu, the biggest Japanese Buddhist sect, and he said Jikoku wa Ichijo, which is translated as usually as hell is inevitable. But Ichijo also means one vehicle, which is basically the holiest concept in Jodo Shinshu. That's like the goal for the afterlife, is the one vehicle which is supposed to take you to the Pure Land, and or it is the Pure Land. So he's saying hell is the Ichigo. It seems to be hinting that hell is the Pure Land, which it basically has to be, since they say that the Pure Land is the other shore, which can only be America, the underworld. So anyway, so if I asked if Shinran employed a play on words to hint that Jigoku is Sukhavati, what other facts would highlight that? If we treat Shinran's declaration as an intentional esoteric play on words, suggesting that Jigoku hell is structurally identical to Sukhavati, the Pure Land, several key concepts of Jodo Shinshu and broader Mahayana philosophy strongly highlight and validate that interpretation. While Shinran's surface meaning is absolute humility, a deeper theological layer suggests that when a person fully accepts their hellbound nature, hell itself is transformed into liberation. Also, hell, America is just paradise, other than like the people and maybe some of the mosquitoes. The homophone play on Ichijo certainly certainty versus the one vehicle. So it's like the way he spelled it is supposed to mean Ichijo is supposed to mean hell is inevitable, but with another spelling, basically the same phonetics mean hell is the one vehicle to paradise, the one vehicle of enlightenment. So if Shinron intended a double meaning with the phrase Jikoku wa Ichijo, he was playing on how the words sound to a Buddhist practitioner. The literal meaning Ichijo means absolutely fixed or inevitable, thus hell is inevitable. The esoteric meaning Ichijo means the one vehicle, Ekayana, the ultimate Mahayana vehicle taught in the Lotus Sutra that carries all sentient beings to complete enlightenment. The synthesis. By phonetically mapping hell to the one vehicle, the phrase reads, hell itself is the one vehicle to salvation. Suffering and imperfection are not obstacles to the Pure Land. They are the exact vehicles that force a person to rely on Amida Buddha. The radical declaration of Chapter 2, Tanisho. In Chapter 2 of the Tanisho, Shinron makes a shocking statement that collapsed the boundary between hell and the Pure Land. Even if I should be deceived by Master Honen and by saying the Nembutsu fall into hell, I would have no regrets at all. If hell and Sukhavati were strictly separate destinations of punishment, okay. Okay, where's punishment and reward? This statement would be spiritual suicide. However, if total surrender, Shinjin, is what matters, then being completely at peace with falling into hell means hell has lost its power to cause suffering. So this is all just pure AI talking out its ass. But the point is the quotes that it gives. I mean, never trust AI's interpretation of anything. It's just good at getting you a bunch of things if you ask for it. Because it's definitely wrong about hell just being a psychological thing. There's that aspect, but it's also a very real place. Total reliance on Amida turns even hell into a place of liberation. But no, I think that hell itself is paradise. Period. It just is. Not even hell, but only hell is paradise. Only hell is Sukhavati. Just like only hell is Eden for, Jews and Christians, at least the ones who know their cosmology, which is very, very few, but Dante certainly did. So, place of liberation. The Mahayana doctrine of non-duality Advaita. Shinron was a trained monk of the Tendai school on Mount Hiei before founding Jodo Shinshu. He's deeply versed in Mahayana non-duality, which highlights two famous maxims. Banno Soku Bodai, earthly desires are enlightenment. Shaji Soku Jodo, this defiled world is the Pure Land. Following this logic, Jigoku Soku Sukhavati, hell is the Pure Land, is the natural extension. Sukhavati is not a physical location millions of miles away. It is a state of reality perceived when the ego is entirely shattered. I think they're just different names for America that imply different methods of, and different songs and dances and rituals that accompany it. The concept of Jinin Honi, naturalness. Later in life, Shinran emphasized Jinin Honi, the idea that they become what they are naturally beyond human calculation. A person burdened by bad karma, akunin, cannot calculate their way into heaven. When you abandon all self-effort, jiriki, and are a hellbound being, you are instantly aligned with reality as it is. At that exact moment of absolute surrender, your karmic hell naturally transforms into the ultimate reality of Sukhavati. So again, this is an opinion about Buddhism. So all you have to really pay attention to is the quotes. Karma Buddha Bodhisattva Sutra, Earth Store. Oh yeah, I think I already talked about this. This is where Jizo. Oh yeah, he says he can enter the deepest hells and turn them into jeweled, paradise. And all right, let me see what else there is here. If there's anything else I missed. It's not working. Technology, it's not the best. It never works. I guess this website just crashed because it can't stand somebody clicking. How dare you try to use this website? It's gonna crash. Yeah, I think it just crashed and froze. Piece of shit. I'm gonna probably get rid of my cell phone soon. I might start using just all technology less toxic. Like anytime you touch anything like electronic, pretty much it's like toxic. Oh my god, this piece of shit. So yeah, like my computer crashed from me just like clicking through photos. That's how great like a MacBook Air is. Really bad. All right. Well, maybe. No, I think it crashed my whole computer. Oh wait, no. Don't let me use Safari. Try it one more time. All right, I'm going to try to use Safari. All right, whatever. This shit is garbage. This is what happens when you're poor and you try to do anything. You can even buy the most overpriced and it still is shit. It still doesn't fucking work at all. All right. Fuck capitalism and fuck all hierarchy and tyranny and oppression and, deception. And yeah. Wait, let me see if it lets me do this now. No. It's not. I'm just trying to click on a website, but no, it just has me stuck in this thing forever. It's funny. You'd think after 50 years of beta testing computers, they would figure out how to make them work and not just crap out all the fucking time. which they have. Maybe the billionaires actually have computers that work. Some different company that we're not allowed to buy from. All right, that's it. Take care. Peace.